Hi dear friends, this is Dmitro, your English tutor. Actually, my name in Ukrainian is pronounced Dmitro, so with the stress on the second syllable. However, I know that the majority of English speakers will pronounce it as Dmitro with the stress on the first syllable, which I don't mind. I'm very happy about that. In the short lesson, let me offer you such a very interesting method of improving your general English and as a result getting a decent score at your Duolingo English test, IELTS, TOEFL, any test. You see, my friends, actually, if we are honest with ourselves, we can admit that very often we are lazy, yeah? Laziness is a bliss in many cases in our lives. However, very often we want to combine this concept of laziness with success at our English test. Everything is very complicated and intricate, so I cannot say that if you are lazy you will fail the test. No, it's unfair because there are different exceptions to the rule, but mostly if you don't do anything, if you don't learn new words, don't read a lot of books, you will fail the test. Or let's say maybe not fail because it's impossible to completely fail Duolingo. You will get a low score. You will not be admitted to some university or college. So then the question arises, how can I improve my general English? Remember, my friends, general English is 90% of your success at any English test. The specifics of a given test is just 10%. If you have a very low level of English, no matter what hypnotic or psychological influences your coach exerts on you, it will not help, because you don't recognize words in the text. How can you work with text if you're looking at it as if into the Chinese manuscript? You see, if you're not Chinese, of course. So one of those primitive but very powerful and secret methods, which I know to be working 110%, is, let's call it a funny challenge of 1 word a day. Yeah, my friends, 1 word a day. So what I mean is, let's imagine that you read I don't know what, you should start reading something. It may be an article in the internet or a dictionary, anything. You meet a new word. So what you do, firstly, you put this word down arrange a notebook, or electronic one or paper one. Maybe paper one is better just in this case, because while your hand is writing, your mind is processing the spelling and everything, so it's very good. So you put this word down, but then you will also add at least 1 collocation with this word. Remember that your mind memorizes in associations. It craves for collocations. If you don't give for example, so to be simple about this, let's say adjective advanced. Yes, I want to learn adjective advanced. So if I put it down into my vocabulary as just advanced, it's not very good, because my mind will refute this idea, because my mind works with associations. But if I put advanced psychologist, something like that, or advanced level, my mind at least realizes that I can associate this word and interlink it with the word specialist or psychologist or level. So there is a fork of 2 logical directions here. So remember about those associations. Okay, but this is only the first step. It's 5 seconds. You firstly put this word, not to forget. Then the collocation you will put later, because you need to see the collocation to find a good collocation. You go to the dictionary. If your level allows, please go to thefreedictionary.com. This is my favorite and of all time. It's the greatest online dictionary in the world. It's just top notch. It's next to nothing, as they say, beyond competition. thefreedictionary.com. 1 word, the free dictionary. There you will, so you type your word in, yeah, and you see several articles about this word. You start reading the explanation, the definition, explanation. This dictionary contains sample sentences, examples, collocations, translations, explanations. It's genius has created this dictionary. So you have to read explanations. If you feel it's difficult, so you read So, like, as to understand the meaning of this word. Don't go very deep into those explanations, because there you will find 30 more new words, and if you just start tracing each new word, you will end up going to the psychological asylum, because there are too many of them. Your task is to read and to understand this. Obligatory find, and you will find several collocations with this word. As I told you, advanced learner, for example, of English, yeah? So you put into your, you add to your paper notebook advanced, and on the right, advanced learner of English. Okay, at least your mind knows that one collocation, one association may be built, so how to use it. Okay, then as I say, you read it, yes, then at the bottom of the page in the free dictionary you have the most, maybe the most precious examples of sentences from classical literature, or from some periodicals archives, or from some internet archives, something like that. Obligatory read several of them. So you will spend, my friend, about 10 minutes on that, or 15 minutes. It means that we have worked a little with one word. And then next day, return to this word, look through the article again in the free dictionary, of course not 15 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, refresh, and then for sure you will meet, as I told you, a lot of more new words, yeah, a lot of other words. So you take one of them which intuitively appeals to you and work with it like again, as we worked yesterday with the first word. You put the second word into your paper notebook, you find collocations and so on, and thus we have about 360 words a year. Yeah, you will say, oh my god, it's so little. Believe me, my friend, it's not little, it's very big. Most of the majority of guys, they don't do even this. I tell you, if it were the opposite way, I would tell you, because I work with people for over 20 years. I've been coaching people and tutoring them for many years. Even if you trace some mistakes in my grammar or accent or something, it does not mean that I cannot help a person succeed at the test, because it's more about psychology and coaching, about the procedure of development, not about my accent. And I know what I'm talking about. The fact of being a native speaker of English doesn't mean a diddly squat. Because you know that there is such a saying in English, in Ukrainian, such an idiom like a satire man, a fool man, is not a friend to a hungry man. So with case of English, for example, a native speaker cannot understand the problems of a non-native speaker. So I, as a non-native speaker, I understand them better. And it's not because just I wanna show off or something. I know it. I checked it hundreds of times. Like I see I find the proofs of that. Okay, my friends. So this challenge will allow you to stand out from the crowd, because 360 words are not very much, but you understand that while you're reading the explanations, your mind is working with hundreds and thousands of other words and other collocations. Of course, if you feel you can stand it, you can memorize. Not memorize, let's say, we don't give our mind the task of memorizing. If you give your mind the task of doing something, your mind, especially powerful subconscious mind, automatically refutes, rejects and rebels, because you exert, you coerce. Never coerce your mind, because your mind is more powerful than your will filter. Okay, it's not the topic of this video, so we don't try to memorize anything. We have fun. We are linguists, like linguistic connoisseurs. We get pleasure, we relish in reading those explanations, thinking about them. How beautiful, yeah, this such a beautiful word, it comes from Latin, blah blah blah, wow, and now I understand. In my own language it also comes from Latin, and they have the same root. Wow, this word really, and I pronounce it several times, then I read some collocations in. So in reality, within 1 year you will learn not 360, you will 3,600 words, and it will help you in 1 year to succeed at the test. Only this challenge, let alone other activities, speaking, listening, and so on and so on and so on, but they're interrelated with this. The foundation for your success is your passive vocabulary of English. Apart from, let's say, some interviews with the guys where you have to speak or to speak about your work experience, yes, it's another field, as they say, another kettle of water, but mostly you want to pass the test, and at the test you need your passive general vocabulary. So how to develop it? I have given you one of the most primitive but supremely powerful tools. Okay, friends, if you need urgent assistance in your Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL preparation online, please drop me a line. I always put my email, WhatsApp, Viber, Telegram, like my telephone number. I'm a tutor from Ukraine. Some of my friends consider me to be one of the most effective tutors in the world. Unfortunately, you cannot read more than 100 testimonials of my students from Ukraine, but I have about 15 of them in English on the website onlinetutor.top. Yes, so I think it's more than enough for you to realize that I can really help you. Okay, yeah, and soon, my friends, soon, just in about 1 month, I will publish my super effective video course for Duolingo preparation called DET with Flying Colors. It will include about 60 to 65 video series of about 45 minutes each, and it will allow you to prepare for Duolingo or to raise your score just independently on your own at home with your most appropriate pace. Okay, my friends, I love you and see you in our next lesson.